start. Alright, so here is the sheet that we did earlier, or yesterday, whenever it was. So this is GCSE ratio and algebra, because I reckon a lot of the algebra and ratio would have been really hard, so I didn't choose too many. Plus these are non-calculator questions as well. Alright, so make sure you're muted, because I don't want to hear you on the video unless you've got a question to ask. Now, in terms of this first question, some of you have a bad habit of writing down x equals 1.5 and then trying to tell me about how you got there. No, don't tell me that. Set up equations and then you conclude x is 1.5. So here it is. I know the total area is 12 centimetres squares. So that little blob plus that little blob will come to 12 centimetres squares. Yeah. So the area of the top bit is just 1 times x, peasy. The area of the bottom part is 3 times x plus 2, which you need to multiply out. And that will give us 3x plus 6, won't it? 3x plus 3 lots of 2. So the total area is 3x plus 6 plus that little x as well for the whole thing, the whole fat L. All right. So that comes to 4x plus 6 altogether. And we know in terms of final answer, the answer is 12 centimetres squares. And that's a very simple equation to set up. Subtract 6 to the other side, then divide by 4. 6 divided by 4 is 6 2/4, otherwise known as 1 1/2. 6 and, yeah, it's correct, no, 1 2/4, which is 1 1/2. There it is. Here's the next one, question 2. Just as a special hint to you people, if you're given a helpful diagram, I'll highly recommend that you put 6x where it belongs and x where it belongs across each part of the diagram. That will help you set up your equation. All right, so this is the perimeter of that shape, made of 2 rectangles stuck together with a bit of chewing gum. So altogether we got 16 x's, and in terms of numbers, these 16 x's must equal 24 because it says so. This is a new shape. So we can work out what x is. 24 divided by 16 is 1 remainder 8/16, otherwise known as 1 1/2, and that's 3 marks. Hope you're paying attention, children. Yeah, here's my next question. I have a triangle, a square and a pentagon, and they have a total area of 48 centimetres squares. So I've got a ratio here because it says the areas of the shapes are in the ratio of their number of sides. So I've got 3 sides plus 4 sides plus 5 sides makes a total of 12 parts in the ratio. You could have written 3.4.5, that's fine, but you have to add them up anyway to get 12 parts. And these 12 parts have got to be divided into 48 centimetre squares. In other words, 48 divided by 12 will give you the area of just 1 part. So 1 part worth of area is 4 centimetre squares. And they want the area of the pentagon. All right? So we want 5 lots of 4 centimetre squares, 20 centimetre squares, as you can see there on the screen. Okay, so some of you look at this and then you just crash. Look at the number of marks, 4. We need to see a few steps. Now, don't be lazy-minded. Some of you are very lazy-minded. You look at this and say, I don't know where to start. But if you have to pay 60 monthly payments of £40, you're going to have to pay 60 times 40, which is £2,400. So at least get 1 mark and don't be lazy with your life. It wants the percentage increase from the cash price when paying by monthly instalments. It's like paying a little mortgage on whatever this thing is that's just bought. Oh, a boiler, okay. So maybe many people can't afford £2,000. It's like having a little mortgage, a mini mortgage on that amount of money, and it won't come cheap. Never does. So as you can see, there's an extra £400 there that you would pay if you had the boiler installed, and then you have to pay 60 payments every single month until, how many years is that? 3, 4, 5 years. That's 5 years, paying £40 every month for 5 years. So they don't give you the money for free. So let's see what the percentage increase is. Well, it's an extra £400 compared to the original £2,000. Then you multiply that by 100. So I cancelled that 0 and that 0 with these two, and then I was left with 400 over 20, otherwise known as 40 over 2, 20%. And I needed to see this kind of working because it's a non-calculator paper. All right, there it is. Please study the video if you need more time. Question 5 is tricky. Many of you got the right answer, but I didn't actually see how you got it. So the answer actually is £120, and yes, Chloe's definitely got enough to buy a bike for the price of 115 quid from Argos. The first step you did wrong, too many of you, was to divide 180 by 3. Nobody says that everyone's going to get an equal amount from that 100, but they're not all going to get £60 each now, are they? All right, there you go. We're not going to get £60 each. So it's wrong, DR. You can't do that. So Billy gets twice as much as Amy. So I wrote myself a little equation. B equals 2 lots of Amy. Chloe gets 3 times as much as Billy. I wrote myself a little equation. Chloe equals 3 Billies. Now, if every Billy is 2 Amy's, then 3 Billies is 6 Amy's. Now, altogether, A plus B plus C will come to £180, but they're not going to get an even share. Amy gets 1 block, Billy gets 2 blocks, and Chloe gets 6 blocks worth of Amy. That comes to 9 Amy's. One of you poor children made it 8 Amy's. I think it was Faris. Can't remember. He had it all correct, and then
yeah, it was.
Oh, sorry. All right. Okay, no worries. So yeah, he got all the maths right, and then divided that by 8 rather than 9. And you can see it goes really nicely. If you divide 180 by 9, you get a £20 per share, per part in the ratio. So what about Chloe then? Well, she's going to have 6 times as much as Amy. So 6 lots of 20 is 120, and there's 5 marks there. There's got to be, enough steps to warrant the 5 marks. So an examiner is going to want to see how you got to your 120 with very clear steps. This is one way of setting it out, and I'm happy with that. Oh, that's just a mark scheme. Okay, so the fact that I gave you the entire little booklet would imply that there weren't that many questions on it. But you've got to think, these are GCSE foundation level, they're not high level, they're foundation level questions, and they're selected for their problem solving attributes. That's why I'm doing it. Hence, what's it say here? Yeah, word problem challenge. So these are challenges.